Kind of weird. Well, maybe we're there. All right, here we go again. Kind of resetting the connection there. Trying to get back in the groove here. So the idea is that we don't have to fight with California. We just need to agree to disagree, and we need to figure out where that is. So it looks like the weekend allowed them to riot because they don't have to go to work, they don't have to go to school. We'll see what happens later this week or even today. I'm in a noisy gym. I don't know. Got these big fans. Actually, I think they have three fans. Kind of crazy. Hmm. So, kind of a sensitive subject, but the sex crimes committed by law enforcement officers are really getting out there and appear to be increasing. You know, we got officers out there on school duty and stuff like that. You have to heal that individually and then as a whole in law enforcement. Again, it might be a cue that it's a hole there. You need to heal that. It's being cursed. Well, Maxine Waters, she needs to call somebody. Again, the system really is where they're supposed to call. I know unannounced inspections, maybe that works, but well, she may have been able to get in if she made the right phone calls. Yeah. Regardless of what's going on, but you have to arrange it with a liaison. Right. Well, as far as the clothing, you can specify the clothing for them. Right. So, they don't have to buy the same stuff. But a lot of times federal officers will buy the same kind of pants and stuff like that. I don't know if there's a preference these days. They just need to dress this. If you bring MPs in, they need to dress the same as the other law enforcement officers. So what you do is you give them a clothing allowance. And then they go out and they purchase everything they need, or you order it for them. Well, you're going to need a security entity. So you can focus on what you're doing. Well, it's obvious LAPD is not going to help. The question is, will they respond if something goes down? Which, I think they have to. Again, I don't agree with all that's going on, but again, there's limits on what should come against it, or what should be accepted as coming against it. And they're all, the liberals are focusing on, Kurt Russell's son or something said something, but it sounds good, but it's empty. We have people that are being harmed, and it includes immigrants. The majority of the victims of unlawful immigrants, undocumented immigrant crime are immigrants. Right. Mm. Again, the issue would not be so urgent if they hadn't done what they did the last 4 years. I helped them move them forward and get to work and things like that, but I told them to monitor the whole thing and don't let it get out of control. And don't let people hijack the conversation because they'll try to say it's all about this or that. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Well, I guess the mayor of LA is going back the other direction, kind of. I mean, she was always there, but she, is calling it for an end of deportation. That's just not going to happen. Right. But again, there has to be some middle ground. Well, like I told you, we have to come up with something better because, as far as the debt, because again, there was fraud, waste, and abuse, but some of the things that we spend money on saves us money. So when you cut it, you're going to have to spend money anyway. Now, some of it'll be like hospitals, and it'll just be on the taxpayer to pay higher hospital bill or higher insurance bills. And some people hospitals they pay cash. going over the California stuff. It's just funny because I saw a Trump statement. You go to Raw Alerts. President Trump or President Donald Trump said he would happily arrest California Governor Gavin Newsom, according to Axios, marking one of his most aggressive statements yet in his presidency leadership. But he also said, Gavin Newsom is a good guy, but he kind of he's talking doo doo, and then he kind of balanced it. He's a good guy, but he can't run a government. Got to get back in the mode of walking here. Definitely tried to knock me off the block. Ugh. It also was rainy last week. It's sunny this week, so a lot more pollen and stuff. Yeah, a lot of people aren't covering the second part of what he said. Good. Oh, there's a Vietnamese, I guess, Minnesota legislature, the state rep. She's illegal. Well, what she's probably got DACA coverage or something, right? Oh, I guess you have to apply though. I mean, you should apply. Right? That's weird. Yeah. Well, that database LA officers allows them to dox a lot easier. Right. Agreed. That needs to be ended. Yeah, but it's not real. Like he steps up for undocumented immigrants, but the reality is the problem's larger than he lets on. You know, I mean, he acts like there's no problem. There's a problem even for them. Right. Oh, wait a minute. Where's my bag? All right, I'll be back in a second. Stay peaceful, praise God, and all that you do, praise God.